All right. So, for those that don't know, PRC is within their weekly or monthly, yearly, whatever, of doing what is known as Police Week. This is kind of like a concept they do every time. It's also kind of a concept they end up doing something at the end where they end up doing a fundraiser or something like that to help within, all the law officers that, have done their time or not done their time, but done their duty to help, within keeping our world safe and all that like jazz. Anyway, now normally in this outcome, they'll either do an event or they'll do updates to the game. So right now we're actually today for me recording this, we're on Saturday now. It started Sunday, so that goes to show I may or may not be late to this concept. Now, me saying that, I know every other EuroC content creator has got already into the depths of what has come to the game, what there is, and all that kind of jazz. Sometimes being late is better than ever, especially since I'm gonna start from square one to right now, which at this time recording right now for today Saturdays hasn't been released to the public yet, but there is a sneak peek. We'll kind of look into that and go from there. So let us start off with Sunday, shall we? Starting with Sunday, they introduced the batch hunt. The idea with this was to collect 10 batches to earn 500 plus XP on the whatever department, which both sheriff and police are both that same XP concept, so you're gonna get it at whatever team, plus $2,000 and an event badge. The way you would collect these badges is by arresting criminals, being the first one to attend to a crime scene, such as like say a stolen car operation, you can collect a badge there. Cash treasure robberies, you can collect the badge from there. Jewelry store robberies, you can collect the badge there. Now just take in mind, with the outcome of this, it was first come, first serve. So that means anybody could also reclaim your badge if you got there first and done the arrest and all that kind of jazz. But that was basically what Sunday introduced. So I like how I could easily just press that, and even though I've already completed it, so very funny. Is it gonna go back to? Yep, it's gonna go back to that. All right. They brought in a classic. They brought in the 2000. Somewhere it's in here. Where's 2000? Here we go. The 2000 Chevrolet. Not Chevrolet Silverado. Sorry, Chevy Tahoe. Why do I feel like I still want to say the word Silverado and not say the word Tahoe? Now, before we spawn this, we're actually gonna go back to the civilian team. Oops. Also, big thanks to well, not thanks, but more of a shout out. This is AJ's live stream server, so if you'd like to check out her channel, you're more than welcome to check it out in the description below. But let's talk about the civilian version, because there is a civilian version and there's a PD version, but there's a few differences. First up, your civilian version is titled as a 2002. Now, if we spawn this thing in, okay, we'll have a look at the front. Definitely got that Silverado front look to it. Very cool. Obviously, you got the traditional GM door handles, which they rolled that all the way from like 2005. Someone probably could credit. Someone can probably correct me on that, but anyway. And then the back lights. Now, this was also a pop open hatch. It was not a side door hatch, as you may notice with the one that was on the law enforcement team. Now let's switch back to that law enforcement, because I got a few things I gotta put my 2 cents worth into this. Now, I'll be real. Where is it? Here we go. If we have a look at that front doesn't really look like the 2002 we just looked at. And the fact that they titled this as a 2000 makes you believe that, something ain't right there, because from 2000 to 2002, from the civilian version of the Tahoe we've seen, that is the genuine front that's supposed to be in the front of this. So You're probably asking yourself, what vehicle year did they decide to remimic the design of the front of this? Well, that is going to be the version, or not version, but the year of 2003 to 2005. Again, someone might be able to criticize me on that, but they basically re-replicated the front of this from the 2003. Now, if you look back from between the 2000 and from the 2003 in the back, there is a difference from the taillights. This is where I give props for PRC because I'm glad they didn't do this, because if we look in the back, the lights are flat. I'm alright with this. I'm happy about this. I don't like the rear lights from the 2003 to 2005. I don't like that weird circle pop out kind of aesthetic vibe. I hate it. Don't like it whatsoever, but yeah. So yes, this is indeed the undercover version. I bought this, which, for the curious, if you're wondering what the price is, it's going to be on your screen. Obviously, it was not too bad for price, but if we get inside of it, you have your turn signals, which, for some reason, they don't use those side mark turn signals, but okay. We have your brakes right there. Your reverse right there. Your normal lights, apparently, wait. Oh, they use those ones for turn signals. Okay. And apparently, oh, you do have a little bit of running lights there. Okay, and actually, they did use somewhat of the running lights on the side. So, honestly, I do like that. Now, if we go ahead and go into stage 3, you have your traditional lights up there. None in the rear. Interesting. None in the rear at all. Very interesting. But yeah, this is the 2000 Chevy Tahoe they brought in the game. While there's a little bit of a modification that does not claim it to be a 2000, it still is pretty good for the design. And like I said, with the front, I'm alright with the front, even though I prefer more of a close replica of the actual original 2000, but obviously it makes it up for not having that replica of the 03 rear lights on this. So I'm actually happy for that. I like this very much. So PRC, kudos. Okay, so here we go. This was Tuesday's release. Now, we do not have this in civilian, so I can't do a comparison. Plus, even if we had this vehicle before time, you know, there's no point. Well, if it was before time, then yes, there's a point to do the comparison. But since we don't have a civilian, it's going to get added in the future, and it's probably going to be this exact model. So we don't have to worry about it same way. But this is the Mercedes Sprinter van. Now, for anyone that was more known for within the Twitter side of things, or X is what it's called now, you might be familiar that there was this one user. I'm not going to say who he is or anything like that, because I don't want to spare any of the details of that kind of concept. But he was a user that delved into all the glimpse of upcoming stuff and was pretty much leaking all that kind of stuff out. So, at the time, the Dodge Monaco, which was a classic patrol car that got added to the law enforcement and the civilian, was one of the things he leaked. Upon that, he also had leaked this Mercedes van. Now, that was over like a year ago, and PRC hope was that everyone forgot about it. There was probably a few people that still knew about it, or most people, but I was one of the ones that know it. Now, if I could find the screenshot, I would, but that user that leaked that concept had removed it off his account, or just was requested to remove it. I don't know. Point is, we have the Mercedes Sprinter van here in the law enforcement team. There's your lights. Looks like all of them, plus the turning lights. You also have some running lights. Ooh, that's cool. And then the rear lights. Your turn signals in the back. Your turn signals in the front. This is definitely a newer vehicle, so it has that newer concept, lighter design. So it's going to have that concept. Oh, even the mirrors have turn signals. That's cool. I like that. Here's your brakes. I forgot you cannot do brakes in neutral. It does not like that. And then your reverse. But yeah, that's pretty much the Mercedes Sprinter van. Okay, so the next one they brought in. Oh, here we go. 2002 Ford Expedition. This is our Expedition, okay? Now, I will admit, there we go. I was about to say. Besides, the wheel's not loading. It's definitely on my behalf. This is what the expedition looks like. Now, I think the civilian has their own version, and I think there's a way we can tell it apart. Let's quickly have a look over there. Let's see if there's a difference, because I think we do have an expedition, and I don't know if it's the exact same year. I know I don't own it, but we do have an expedition. So, yeah. Oh, 2003. And I think that one was a 2002 or 2004. So we're definitely a year off, and I definitely don't own it, so I'm going to purchase it, which is not going to get saved. You can tell my money situation's, yeah. So there's the front of it. It would be nice if I had a cop that was in the actual expedition, but I think we can kind of tell a little bit of differences. I'll tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. I may not see this now live in actual production, but I'm going to let editing JPD kind of come into play, see what the difference is between them, and go from there. Because I think there is a difference, but like I said, I don't know, because I'll be real, I haven't had much experience within this day to actually have a look at the cars, but yeah. So now we have all angles of the expedition. We're going to go back on the law enforcement team, and I've been using this department just that way. I've been staying away from their RP aesthetics because they've been doing an RP, and I'm going to eventually get back to it, but at least I want to come in here and get my shots now, so that way I can get this all done out of the way. So, the one we looked at was the 2003. So what was the year in this one again? I did have seen it, and I lost it. Oh my lord. 2002. So it is a year off. That's not bad, PRC, having a year off. But obviously from the front, you can definitely tell. I mean, from the front, you can definitely tell that there's a difference. You can tell with the grill style difference in it. And honestly, the grill style in this is kind of looking more into the 1990s. It's not fully pulling off that look, but it is kind of pulling that look. And with the rear, there's definitely a little bit of a difference. So this is the concept of telling you basically there's a way you can tell these two vehicles apart from civilian to law enforcement. So if you see a vehicle like this undercover, you can spot those concepts that tells you it's a law enforcement, then you know. But anyway, the lights check. Looks like we get our turn signal lights and this. We do have higher beam lights there on the turn signals. Cool. Okay. There are rear ones right there. Our normal lights. Ooh, there's a weird little spot they've done there. That's kind of cool. The brakes. And reverse. And of course, again, this is also an undercover unit. This is basically what the undercover unit looks like of this vehicle. So anyway, that was pretty much Wednesday's released. Okay, now on to Thursdays. Now Thursdays, they hit us with the double. And the double actually diving in more into the electrical side of things. Which, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that PRC is diving into electrical vehicles for law enforcement. But I really would like to see at least a EV of some sort in DOT. Now, fire kind of makes sense not having an EV, except for unless it's like an ambulance concept, but not like an engine or anything like that. But for DOT, I would love to see an EV there. But anyway, with that, having that being said, let's talk about the EVs. So, the first EV they have brought into the game was the Ford. I think they call this a Mustang series of some sort. I don't remember. I don't know my EV stuff. Okay, leave me alone. Now, I believe we have this in civilian. I don't own this in civilian, but this is our EV of the electric. You have your lights, which does all that. Same thing there. You have these lights right here. Your turn signals, which the reason... Now, you've may notice that the turn signals kind of blink a little bit faster in here. That's because these Mustangs are known for these kind of turn signals, which are freaking cool. I love them. Okay, you have your reverse right there. Your brakes are right there. And, yeah, again, None are undercover. You can't really tell the difference between a civilian version and this, but you might be able to. I don't own the civilian version, but you gotta take in mind, this is based off of the newer vehicles they brought in over time, trying to come up with that, not realistic, but, not imaginable, but reproduction, uncopyrightable, if that makes sense, other than, you know, property to PRC. But that's not all they brought into this update. They brought in another one. And, this one was also very expensive, too. They brought in the Cybertruck, the only Tesla product, but more Tesla vehicle in the game. Now with Tesla, you got that same concept. I'm presuming the lights are all the same, you know. You have rears. You have your back lights, reverse lights, turn signals. And another thing, if we go to 3, they have lights on the bumper. I probably could remove these, but I haven't. You have the lights there and the lights there. But yeah, that's pretty much what they done for the Thursday update. Now moving on to Friday. Friday's update actually will entail pretty much all the vehicles, because they had a small update, but we're just gonna choose one. And we're gonna choose one of my personal favorites, is the 2000. Okay, you know what? Here, let's just do it this way. 2000. Nope, not 20. 2000. The 2000 Chevy. Okay. One of the new changes they done, to put it in stage 3, is they changed the sirens. But yes, they changed the sirens. So the sirens now sound a lot more cooler. Now, I will admit, if you have Gary's mod and you use the old, whatever the old lights mod, the old lights mod, whatever the old one is, you might actually discover what the actual light bar sound effects are. But yeah, they changed that. Now, there's a difference, I think, in the PD one. I was going to try to switch to that one, but apparently the chambers are full. In the meantime, because I've been trying to wait to get on the police team to show the sirens off there. Fire also had gotten that change with the siren change too. So let's have a look at the fire ones really quick. We'll use ooh, do they ban certain items? I think did they ban certain things? Wait. Okay, nope, they got that one. Okay, thank. Show you, whoop. Yup. Ooh. Kind of like that. What's it sound like, though, with the, let's do a tanker really quick. Oh! Oh! Oh my goodness, I love that. I love that one. I don't know how I feel about the pre-call. But I do like this one. I do like that one. That one I do love. Okay, let's try an actual ambulance really quick. Yeah, international. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. I definitely do like the engines. I like the first one with the engines. The engines one, oh my god, that's freaking crisp. Okay. Let's look into the police one really quick. Get the sirens checked out for that one before we go to the other stuff. So you have the ooh. Do it one more time. Yeah. Very cool indeed. Anyway, but yeah, that's the sirens for the police side of the new sirens update. Now, let's jump into the last portion of the update for Friday. Alrighty. So the last portion of this Friday's update was they brought in some new guns. So they actually brought in 1 for the civilians and 3 for the law enforcement. Let's start with the civilian first, shall we? The civilian one is this Rangun 700. Anyway, so with this, she's a sniper. She is a sniper bad boy right here. So, go right here. Want to scope. You can scope with this bad boy. This is indeed a very cool gun. Now, I'm going to go ahead and unequip this because I do not want to get killed with this. And I'm going to switch to law enforcement because with law enforcement, we're going to talk about the other 3. The 3 that are the law enforcement. So, the Rangun SR525. Nope, 556, sorry. Let's see here. That should be here. Here we go. This one. We have this one right here. And, yeah, it's, that is a chest piece decor on this, gun. Yeah, very, very, very interesting indeed. But that's that one. The Bunton M4. I'm probably butchering the saying of these guns as I am, but you know what? Forget it. Looks like they just passed us on this anyway. But it's basically a shotgun. So, yeah, there's that one. And finally, the last one is this CW9. And it's just a pistol. They definitely got something going on near this scenery. But yeah, that's pretty much all Friday's update pre-tales. Now talking about today's update, Saturday. It hasn't been released yet. They've released the PRC released a little sneak peek video of it, which we can have a little look at that, but they haven't released it yet. So it's either gonna get released sometime or some point in time later tonight or tomorrow. We'll just have to see. But yeah. This is the one thing that has not been fully released to the public yet. Okay, so here is the video that PRC released today. Now, some content creators had to mute this because of the music. Nah, I don't gotta worry about it. I pay my license for the provider they use. I use it every day. I love it. So, for the content creators that had to mute it, yeah, that's what a good $20 a month gets you. Get you the ability where you can play these without having to worry about getting copyrighted. So, it's a 52-second video. Let's get straight into it. So they're pretty much done the scenery. Oh, they even put the sprinter van in action in that. That's pretty cool. I like how one of those, they got the actual details. Like one of those workers was having the radio, and then you have the belt. Very cool. But you can see they're really they're hammering it on. And then the police van changing the outside, which the outside didn't look like much change, but there's definitely some change inside. They got the new lobby, it looks like, locker room, the new interrogation. I think we've seen the picture taken, you know, the board that, yeah, new offices, information board, new dispatch zone. That's that. I do think there was something that was pointed out. Oh, right here. Hang on. Right here. This inkling right here in this is showing basically that there's supposed to be a second floor to this. Who knows? Now, when was this released? This was legit. This was actually premiered 5 hours ago. So yeah, I missed the premiere on that, but it was premiered 5 hours ago. So It was basically released 5 hours ago. So that's right now 9:18 for me right now. So serious, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, around 4ish, 4 o'clock for me is when this got released. So 4 hours have passed. They still have not released this update, but let me just go ahead and say that this is definitely an update. They are definitely cooking now. I know there's been a lot of people that have been complaining on the PRC saying, oh, it's just a building. This should be simple release, blah, 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 blah. That's not always the case. You got to take in mind. You got to realize that parts, there may be certain parts not anchored or certain physical parts need moved, like the doors, for example. They got to have that concept, or certain areas, the lighting needs to be perfect. They got to be sure everything's up to code before they release. You don't want to release an update and have bugs. I mean, yes, you're going to have that, but you want it to be like minor bugs in that kind of concept. So it does suck that, yeah, the behind schedule, or at least presumably, I guess, the behind schedule. Who knows? But you cannot confirm them being late to the update, depending on their time zone, by whatever it happens. Like with most of the beginning of those updates that I've shown off today in this video, most of those updates did not release till like 10 o'clock my time. I was working. Didn't have the time to actually physically, check the stuff out until either when I took my, sort of took my 30-minute break to experience it. I took my 30-minute break maybe to buy vehicles and all that jazz, but didn't get the actual physical experience of it until when I got home. Plus, with that, I've also been having to take my time focusing on another little project, which I actually have 2 other projects I'm working on trying to produce within the channel. One of them is involving an old series coming back, but yeah, this is indeed their video release. Very cool, but yeah, we'll just have to see what the official Saturday update will entail. The update that was planned for Saturday just released. Now, I actually didn't walk through this. Hint, when I mentioned a while ago, insufficient storage. Forgetting to turn my Roblox on. So yeah, dummy. Real dummy for that. So, anyway, so you're spawning here. So we have the lockers. Really cool details. You can reload your armor here. You can also have your reload tasers and stuff like that. Now, we're not gonna we're gonna come back because we're gonna go to here. You have booking. We have holding cell 1 and 2. And you have the garage, which is, yeah, that garage is loaded with a bunch of cop cars. We got, we had like, we had 8 cop cars, I think you could get in here, but they've been switching it up with different cop cars and all that. I feel like I need to get in there to move my vehicle. Is my vehicle in the way? My vehicle might be in the way. Alright, hang on. Let me get my vehicle out of here. And we'll get back to our agenda tour here. There you go. Vehicle's out of the way. Now, so we'll skip back to come in here. Here's our dispatch area. Very cool. This door takes us out here. We also have a holding cell, which this gentleman's holding that. You enter it from here and here. You can see the window privately right here. Probably some new portraits are going to happen there eventually. The briefing room, beautiful. Really beautiful. I like the briefing room. You have your new lobby right here. You have stairs. That's because there's kind of a second floor to this, which is very cool. But we're gonna come back around. So here's the front desk. It's your front desk right there. Let me shut that door. Y'all born in a barn. So you have your weaponry. You talk to this gentleman right here to get your weapons. You can come in here. Very cool. You also have these 2 doors right here, which is actually to our legit spawning we've known for a long time, but except for now, instead of a single door, it's a double door. So it's very cool. I love it. So yeah. But we'll go back to the stairs. You notice that there's stairs up here. You have office 2, which is very cool. Oh, that's where that picture come into play. That's cool. You have office 1. No picture in this one. And then we have a door right here, which I don't know how you get into that. We're going to come back to that later, see how it looks. But yeah, I'm going to jump down here really quick. Anyway, But yeah, that's pretty much that. We have this garage right here, which is very cool. You can come out here, you can toggle it. Like I said, they had like 4 cars per row, so they had about 8 cars in there, which don't know why the toggle's not working. I don't know why the toggle's not working, but I was able to toggle it. So, yeah. Oops. Sorry. Matter of fact, none of my toggles are working. What did I do to break my game? I broke my game. Wow. But yeah, let's jump into what that one room might entail, shall we? Alrighty, so we are now back. We are in King of Bricks' server, the only server I do have commands. So we're gonna quickly go back. People are gonna follow me. Leave me be. I'm a man on a mission. We're gonna come over here. I think I lost them anyway. That's fine. But anyway, I want to check out this room right here. So it's an empty room with a half someone floor. That's funny. But yeah. So pretty much with the front of this, other than the fact it's going to say King's Township, even though it's pretend that actually says, PRC shut down Jpdminecart server. Oh, well, anyway, but yeah, the front, really, there was not much of a change, other than maybe like right here. I mean, this is probably your only change you're going to get because of a new briefing room. You're going to have a new window design. That might be your only change. Up here might be your only change, but like outside wise, really that fine print detail that you would notice a change, you really don't see it. Other than you can just see like probably a different window layout and all that. I mean, back here you could definitely chill with here. This is definitely changed. And then obviously with back here, with the garage and all that kind of jazz. That's pretty much the change right there. And then of course this door right here to enter into ditch patch. But yeah, I'm happy that you can jump off that and you don't take fall damage. I'm very happy for that. That was something I kind of thought was annoying. So anyway, that is all the 7 updates of Police Week of Emergency Response Liberty County. Now, while I was late to the party through Monday through Friday, I am so glad that I was actually be able to actually partake within participating in the live moment right now with Saturday's update. I know a bunch of other PRC content creators are probably working on their production of Saturday right now. We're talking like Game & Go, OMB, Amazing already released it, which way early for Amazing, which I bet you between Amazing and OMB, I bet you they probably may have gotten early access and took all their shots instantly. But I bet you the developers, aka PRC heads, said, hey, just because you got the stuff early, don't really release it early. Release it whenever we release the update. That's the outcome. So on that bombshell, that's pretty much all there is to it. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the PRC 2025 Police Week updates, even though, like I said, it was delayed through Sunday through Friday, but at least I managed to get Friday. Make sure you give a like. If you're new to the channel, you don't want to miss any other videos. Not a lot topic within this, but a lot within the content of Emergency Response Liberty County or other content I do on the channel, such as Minecraft related content or Roblox content, especially with some content I definitely have planning to do within the future. Make sure you stick around. And you can do that by hitting that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you get notified whenever I do new videos or streams. And if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you give it a like. Apart from that, I've been your host, Jpdminecart. You've all been the audience, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.